So I gained about 30 pounds of lean muscle mass, and I thought I'll share this with you guys because a lot of you guys seem so concerned about making gains, especially when you're starting so small. I still remember working out for 1 year straight and I did not see any significant change. For some reason, I just couldn't go up in weight. To my defense, I wasn't really knowledgeable on how to train, so I was doing a lot of things wrong. As time goes on, I thought engaging in sport might help me a little. So I got involved in a few sports like football and track and field with the hope of understanding how to train properly. Fortunately for me, that worked. My coach was able to design a strength program for me that was way better than what I was doing before. I stayed consistent with that program for about 1 year and I saw results, but it wasn't too crazy. I wasn't too happy about the result because I want more than just gaining 5 pounds over the span of 1 year. So I did the worst thing ever. I started comparing myself with other people who had achieved amazing results, and that made me not happy with where I was. I wanted results so quick that I was even considering hopping on gear. But I did not go that route. I'm still natural, or else I wouldn't even make this video. I later find out that if you want long-lasting results, you're gonna have to do the time, and you're gonna have to stop comparing yourself with others, because comparison is a thief of joy. Everyone's unique in their own way, and you can't compare your journey with someone else's journey. You don't know what this person had to go through to get to where they are right now. Sometimes you just gotta pause and reflect on the little progress you've made so far and start appreciating that. After all the reflection, I had a huge mindset shift that made me start looking at things from a different perspective. I switched up my whole philosophy on how I now approach my fitness journey. With this new mindset, I hit the reset button and I was ready to start all over again. I was in it for the long run. I knew I would get to my goal eventually. But instead of me wasting my time just going with the flow, why don't I just plan a little so I know what I need to work on specifically to achieve my fitness goal? So I did a few things that got me from 160 pounds to around 190 pounds in 2 years after I switched up my whole philosophy on how I approach my fitness journey. The first thing I started doing was being mindful of my calorie counts. So growing up, I've always had issues with excessive eating. Basically, I don't have much appetite to eat a lot of food. And due to me being active, I expend a lot of energy, which makes it impossible for me to gain mass. I started tracking down my calories and macros to keep myself accountable for what goes into my body. That made me realize that I wasn't eating enough calories and I was nowhere close to my daily protein intake. It was like I was eating to survive rather than to build muscle, which kind of makes sense why I wasn't able to build muscle. After doing some research, I later find out that in order to build muscle mass, you need around 1.6 grams per kilograms of body weight. So I started prioritizing my protein intake, and I was able to find my maintenance calorie goal and my bulking calorie goal. After I got all that information, it was so easy to track down my food using MyFitnessPal. I'm gonna link the calorie calculator that I used to find my maintenance and bulking calorie goal down in the description below. It's not 100% accurate, but it's gonna give you a good understanding of where you should be aiming and which is what you are gonna need. Once I had that figured, I started to notice some progress with my size and people started complimenting me. And when you start getting compliments from people you don't know, that's how you know you're doing something right. But what took me from point A to point B, giving me that significant strength, was supplementing. So throughout my journey, especially when I got started, I refrained from taking supplement because I wasn't educated about it. For some reason, I thought using supplement makes you not natural, until I realized that the reason why we supplement is to fill out the nutrient gap that our body need in order to build muscle. For example, we get creatine from food sources like red meat, fish, and chicken, but the creatine from those food sources are not enough to support real muscle growth. So guess what? We supplemented by taking creatine monohydrate. So I started supplementing. Specifically, I was taking creatine every day, consistently, combined with hypertrophic training, which means I was consistently pushing heavy weights during my workouts. Man, I noticed the strength gain, and lifting heavy became my new addiction. The crazy part was I didn't realize I got bigger because I was so focused on lifting heavy that I forgot to weigh myself. Until eventually I decided to weigh myself, and I noticed an incredible drastic weight gain. I couldn't believe it. Now I said all this to say that everyone's journey is gonna be different. We all have different body type, unique genetics, different body shapes, and the worst thing you can do to yourself is compare yourself with someone else. Instead of comparing yourself to someone else, what you can do instead is analyze that person's journey and see what tips and tricks you can use to take your fitness journey to the next level. Honestly, for me, building 30 pounds of lean muscle was a challenging journey, but it definitely taught me discipline, dedication, and the importance of not giving up. If I can do it, you can definitely do it regardless of what your fitness goal is.